That's another thing. You know, you may be happy in your $400,000 condo thinking I got 3 million, I'm going to retire. Do you want to live in that condo for the rest of your life? Do you have aspirations or goals for a bigger house and a family and a yard or a better part of town or to move to a different city? And I tell you, Michael, I live in Memphis and our appreciation is not what it is in most of the country. So if I wanted to move to Colorado or I wanted to move back to California, I would not be able to get this type of house I have right here for the same price. It would be quadruple.
As I shared in the daily financial news on Sunday, something I'm asking all of my real estate millionaires is there some theoretical value, equity number, where you would sell everything, get the cash, and just chill? So we're going to have the first conversation with Casey from Brick by Brick Wealth and say, hey, Casey, if you had 5 million in equity or 10 million in equity or 15, I don't know what the number is, but is there some theoretical number where you're like, I am selling all these Memphis properties. I am getting out of the game. I'm going to go get off the grid and just be done?
I love this question. I have never thought of this before. I think my husband and I would have different answers. That's for sure. He is okay with living a more modest life. And my thought process has always been, I need to always be striving for more. I don't know what I would be if I was just complacent. That being said, I'm sure there is a number. And a number that I've always wanted to hit was $1 million a year. That was always something like pie in the sky, way out there. And it seems way out there, but I know a lot of people who make $1 million a year. So I know it's not a huge number, although it still is for me. Right. I think if I made $1 million a year with my investment properties, I don't know what else I could need after that. I think I would be just fine.
Just $1 million a year.
Hey. How about you, Michael?
Yeah, I've never thought about it that way. It's a really interesting question, and I actually put it up on X and Twitter just to get everybody else thinking about it, and it's actually shocking. So I'll actually pull it up on my phone because, again, if you guys don't follow me on X or Twitter, it's just one rental at a time, except it's the number one given space or given the numbers or the letters. Let me pull it up, because I got a lot of responses. A lot of people were like $3 or $5 million. So let's play this out. Let's say your number's $3 million.
Yeah, that's not enough.
Yeah, when I look at 3 million, I go, okay, so and let's assume, again, this is just a game, so I can make any assumption I want.
Right.
Let's assume it's 3 million after taxes, after depreciation recapture. It's like, hey, you've got $3 million sitting in a, money market account or whatever.
Yeah.
So if you assume that, then let's say for whatever reason you could get 5% fixed return. So that is 150 grand a year.
Yeah.
That 150 grand a year is taxed, right? Because it's income.
Yep.
So let's assume you live in a state without income tax. So you're paying, I don't know, 30%, 25% federal. So that 150 becomes, I don't know, 110, 105. That's, I don't know, what's that? $9 grand a month?
Yeah, but you have to think, Michael, that might be enough for some people today. But what about inflation? What if you rent? What about rising costs? What if you have kids and you got to pay for their cars and their college and their weddings and costs in the future, utilities? I mean, think about how much just goods and services has doubled, tripled.
Yeah.
In just the past 5 years. Now, imagine if you're in your 20s or 30s and you're like, oh, I've got 3 mil, I'm good. That's going to be squat when you're 60.
That's exactly right. Yeah, because you've got it. The question, I guess the question would be better said, or addition to the question, like how many years you plan. Like if you're 70, good to go. You're good.
Yeah.
Right? Because you probably got 10, maybe 15 years of hopefully the good life left where you can still travel and do stuff because you're healthy. But I've been on trips with people in their 80s and 90s. And it doesn't look like fun, right? They're in wheelchairs. Right. They go outside for like 7 seconds and they got to come back in, But if you're 35, to your point, that $3 million in fiat currency probably worth like 7 cents in 20 years.
Yeah, that's not going to be enough. So you have to
It's not gonna-
think not for what is good enough today, but what's good enough when you're at retirement age.
Yeah.
And do
So,
you ever want an increased quality of life? That's another thing. You know, you may be happy in your $400,000 condo thinking I got 3 million, I'm going to retire. Do you want to live in that condo for the rest of your life? Do you have aspirations or goals for a bigger house and a family and a yard or a better part of town or to move to a different city? And I tell you, Michael, I live in Memphis and our appreciation is not what it is in most of the country. So if I wanted to move to Colorado or I wanted to move back to California, I would not be able to get this type of house I have right here for the same price.
oh,
It would be quadruple.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's well said. The other thing I saw in a lot of people were like 3 to 5 million. Then it kind of jumped to 10 million. The same logic applies. Like if you're 70, you're good. If you're 35, maybe not. But then there was a next set of questions, which were like, hey, just get a property manager. You don't there was like, hey, basically take your portfolio and set it and forget it. Right. Pay a PM, kind of like what Olivia and I do. And just enjoy your life. You don't have to build anymore, right? You don't have to add anymore. You don't need that stress, but just set it and forget it. It should feed you more. So there was that crowd. And then there was the crowd. It's like, dude, I'm not selling anything. I'm going to, refi until I die was another strategy. It was like, okay. So it was a really interesting question that caused a lot of different answers.
I think a lot of the younger people say refi till you die, personally. If I had to guess a group, it would not be the older people that say refi till you die. A lot of them are younger people and they don't have a lot of responsibilities and a lot of things hanging over their heads, a lot of things they may have to pay for. When you have kids and you grow up, you want more stability, and refi till you die doesn't usually support that, in my opinion.
So let's tweak the question a little bit.
Okay.
Could you envision yourself ever selling out of every property in Memphis?
Yeah, absolutely.
You would just move the capital somewhere else.
Yeah, I could definitely do that. And I've thought about that being a potential strategy in the future. And I know a lot of real estate investors, they start off with single family rentals or small 1 to 4 unit, 2 to 4 unit complexes. They gather a good portfolio. They take some time. They get their appreciation. Now they have this net worth in their properties that they go, maybe I can invest in something maybe less risky, less work, possibly bigger return, different asset class. So, long-term rentals is where a lot of investors start off, and a lot of them end up still there. But a lot of them also take that and move into something else. I've been interested in maybe buying a car wash, and that sounds really fun to me. My husband and I are talking back and forth, and he's like, well, I'll have to learn how to do that. I would rather just buy someone's portfolio of homes with the money, So, but I've absolutely thought about doing that. Yes.
Yeah. And the other thing I think about is, let's fast forward 3 decades. So however old you are, you're 30 years older.
Yeah.
Your kids are out of the house. You're empty nesters, clearly, probably grandparents.
I'd be in my bed.
Yeah. I let you do the math.
Hopefully I'm still kicking.
There you go. You will be. Do you think you'll start liquidating pieces of the portfolio, or is the plan, hey, we're going to give it to the kids? Like, have you thought that far ahead?
Yes. And I think it will depend on the property itself. So the older the properties are, the more work that they need. I know there's a guy in your school group, and he buys new builds for that. He's thinking in the future. He's thinking, hey, I'm buying these properties for my kids, but in 30 years, if I buy a house that's built in the 40s, it's going to be really old in 30 years. So he's buying and building new homes so that they're just 30, 40 years old down the line. So,
Yeah, because that's something that Olivia and I get asked all the time. Like, what are you going to do with this? So, all right, I reserve the right to change our opinion. But, the current strategy is, sometime probably in the next decade, we're going to start shrinking our portfolio on purpose, like 1 or 2 a year to spread out taxes, because we don't want to give our daughter everything that we have today, because we know exactly what would happen. It would be sold for pennies on the dollar. She has no interest in any of this.
Oh,
Even
no
though,
way.
yeah, no
What a
interest.
bummer.
So, and frankly, she'll be fine
Yeah.
financially, but so we know that we're going to get smaller because again, Father Time's undefeated. We're all going out the same way. You just don't know when. But I don't think we're going to, I just can't envision going to zero.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. It's the income that you get from
Yeah.
real estate. It's one thing to have a lump sum sitting in your account that's giving you some money in the stock market. It's another thing to have recurring income and still increasing net worth. That's what I think is a big pro about owning real estate. You get a monthly check and your net worth grows. It's not one or the other.
Yeah. And I think it will probably take Olivia and I 10 or 15 years once we start to get to the portfolio. So we're talking a 25-year journey to kind of get to some, because what I'd love to leave Teresa is, I don't know, let's call it 40 units, free and clear, the best of the best properties we own. So she can
Good
do what
idea.
she wants. Obviously our will and all estate is set up with very clear instructions with people to work with and all of that. We maintain that stuff, but we still suspect she'll sell them rather quickly.
Yeah.
But at
Some of
least it
my
will be
kids
the
are
best stuff.
some of my kids, 1-7, so it doesn't quite count. But especially the 13-year-old. And I know my 11-year-old, he seems even more interested in real estate, but he's only 11. The 13-year-old, she's asking questions and understanding more things about interest and how that works and ROI and just being in middle school. And she's expressed that she wants to start buying real estate. So I'm not quite sure how that would work, being 13 and not making, any money.
She's got 5 years to get a down payment going.
Exactly.
Tell her to create an Etsy store like her mom did.
Well, that's something we're considering doing. And she also wants to start, she does nails. So she loves to do like acrylic nails, gel, dip, all sorts. And with extent, so she's going to start a channel and for fun. She made her first 2 videos the past 2 nights. She's very good. I mean,
let's shout out her channel. What's this kid's channel?
We don't have a channel name yet. She
Oh,
made the videos, right? Okay. So that's what we're discussing. What's the channel name going to be so we can post them this week? So we don't quite have a channel name.
What's her first name?
Juliet.
Nails by Juliet.
Yeah, that's what we were thinking, something similar. So yeah, I know. But yeah, she wants to buy real estate. So I'm hoping that, and they're homeschooled too. I don't know if we'll keep homeschooling or whatever down the line, but I would like them to earn an income when they graduate high school. I would like them to already have an income, whether it's their business so that they can start investing in real estate, but just buying 1 or 2 houses. I mean, gosh, imagine, Michael, if you bought a house when you were like 18 years old.
Could you imagine Juliet, Nails by Juliet, or whatever the channel becomes, in the next 4 or 5 years? Real brands. She's getting brand deals from nail polish, and
I know it gives me the chills because I know it can happen.
I know.
Yeah. She's so passionate about it.
Come on, Juliet, get to work.
Yeah. So sky's the limit. But that being said, I would like my kids to start buying their own rental properties so that whatever we have is, just icing on the cake, whether we give it to them or however it goes down, whether we sell our properties and whatever, they'll get the money from us somehow when we die, whether it's through money or through properties, they'll get it. But I would like them to start owning their own while they're young so that they can see the benefits. I want real estate to pay for their lifestyle, really, so that they can enjoy doing Nails by Juliet and make some money, but still have that, that quote steady income from rental properties and growing net worth without having to work for it. It's just so hard to get ahead nowadays. You kind of need to have multiple streams of income or it's going to be hard to make it in the future, I think.
I love that. So Casey, I think the answer to my question is you're always going to be in real estate.
Yeah, it's what I love.
Oh, I think it's a great answer. I think that's our answer as well. I think you could take your foot off the gas. I think you can move assets around. I think the fact that you're encouraging your kids to start building a business when they're 13 is amazing. So shout out you for doing that. Where can people find you?
People can find me on YouTube every week, putting out new videos, Brick by Brick Wealth, as well as Instagram. I'm there every day too, Brick by Brick Wealth.
Do me a favor, send her a note, DM, whatnot. Tell her you came from One Rental at a Time so she knows her time on this channel is valuable. Thank you so much.